this time with a redesign of Husk's Overlord look, mainly for fun, but also cause the jump from his full pinline suit to just pants and a top hat is wild. Plus his Overlord suit is kind of boring compared to the staff of the casino, which I fully believe is Husk's, and probably the only thing of his he still has some claim to, even after his contract with Alistair. I mean, his wings are on the frickin' stage, for crying out loud. But anyway, my point still stands, cause see, look how unique the staff's uniforms and overall design are compared to Husk and his Overlord look. And side note, this weirdly kinda confirms my theory that contracted people share some similarities with the person they're contracted to. I mean, obviously they're designed to match the casino, but seeing as they're all the same colors as Husk's old Overlord colors, I'm inclined to believe my theory holds some weight. And while yes, he did lose a lot of souls, so there's no guarantee that the staff are still contracted souls. However, though, they still work at the casino that Husk once owned and still have the theming going on. So maybe the casino being up is still connected to Husk in some way, contract-wise, or this is just some demonic power that's going on. I know the only real reason is just because of theme and color, but that's my theory anyway. And though we only got the top half of the outfit, I still think it's relatively too simple and weirdly makes him look way younger than he is and doesn't really give off Overlord vibes, though that could be just because of his side profile. And again, his bow tie just kills me every time. And weirdly enough, the lack of anything casino on him is also really disappointing, because like, if he's the casino Overlord in this scenario, shouldn't he look more the part? Like, I'm not saying he needs to be dripping in symbols, but just something fun to showcase what kind of Overlord he is. Plus the colors kind of bother me, not the palette itself, just the placement, because low-key it looks like a Halloween suit on first glance, than an Overlord look. Also, I know it was only brought up in season 1 and hasn't been brought up since about Husk being an Overlord, but I am very curious on why he was betting souls to begin with. Like, I get it's his thing, but him losing so many times seems weird. Like, you would think with so many souls in his back pocket, aka the power boost, he'd have the ability to always win. We know contracted souls help boost a demon's powers, so like, he should just be constantly winning. And don't say he lost them all and one sitting with Alistair, because that flashback makes it really hard to tell if that's even happening due to him in the beginning playing to win cash, but then we see and hear him say you'd turn to anything to keep afloat, and then we see Alistair has won a lot of chips, not cash. So it kind of implies that Husk was losing souls left and right and decided to just bet with Alistair for some reason. And again, why? You have all this power and are the casino demon. How are you losing? That shouldn't be a thing for the demon of casinos. Like, there can be like little moments where Husk is like, oh, you're winning, you know, like tricking someone into a false sense of security, and then being like, oh, psych, your soul is mine, whoop. Like, him losing shouldn't be a thing for the demon of casinos. The people playing against him should constantly be losing. Like, hustling should be Husk's strong suit. And like, I know the drinking is a factor in some degree, that it may have messed him up in some way, but I feel like power scale and being drunk does not work in that way. And it makes me just really wish that Husk and Alistair played like normal and kept upping the scale in a way to trick Husk into losing the souls he's contracted and forces him to make a contract with him to keep the bit of power he gained. I feel like that would have been slightly more interesting and make Alistair seem far smarter than just the Mary Sue of hell and just flat out winning, you know? Anyway, though, that got off topic, but I needed to say it, so let's get to the real meat of the video, aka the design. Okay, so for the redesign, I went a tad over the top, mainly because 1, he's the overlord of gambling and casinos, and 2, because Husk also has a love for magic, which hasn't changed since the pilot, thanks to his fighting style being magic-based, so I went harder with those 2 as my main themes. But body-wise, I didn't change too much other than making his hair more neat, along with his eyebrows, which yes, I did add hearts to the ends of them. I just really low-key hate the stripes. They're so pointless. So yeah. Also, yes, I put spades on the tips of his ears, mainly because, like I said in my original redesign video of Husk, Husk has way too many heart symbols on him. But anyway though, everything is pretty much the same except the wings, and that's more my thing, as the has-been / Spindlehorse wing design just hurts my anatomy and bird special interest heart. So yeah, more slightly accurate wings with no straight lines across the wings. Yay! Ugh. I've said my piece. Anyway though, the main thing is the outfit and color. So again, I went in a more magician direction, which is just a costume styled evening suit, often paired with a cape, but with Husk's wings. Who really needs one? So I put him in a semi-formal evening wear suit, which is pretty much the base of any typical magician suit. But anyway though, I gave him a straight end bow tie with a diamond brooch, which I want to be clear here, I don't hate all the bow ties given to certain characters. I just hate that Viv and her team draw the same bow tie over and over again. There are many different types of bow ties, along with just like bow shapes in general. I really wish they would just diversify the bow ties. Anyway, for his undershirt, I went with the staple stiff white ridged top, though I spread the ridge lines out and added card symbols to look like a slot machine's like little head topper thing. I don't know what it's called, sorry. And originally I was going to do a cummerbund, but the shirt design did not want to cooperate. So I did a simple low-cut U-shaped waistcoat that's cut a little bit higher so the pants are a little bit longer. But as you can see, it's a nice overlap with a simple diamond button. Now for the overall suit design. So I decided to fuse his notch lapel from the original into a diamond-shaped shawl lapel with the same inner fabric pattern as the table Husk lost to Alistair to, as kind of a nod to what's to come. Also, this style of jacket is called a tailcoat, which just means the front is a bit shorter while the back is longer. Think of it like the mullet of suits. And the tailcoat itself in the back is split down the middle, mainly as an easier way to sit down, but also to make your legs look longer. However though, I just did it because Husk has a tail, so it makes the most sense. Plus, again, a tailcoat is like the staple of a magician's outfit. So that is also why. Anyway though, I made the hemline of the front outline of his suit gold, mainly to avoid overlapping, but also because I wanted to use the gold as my highlight color than as the main color of the suit like the original. Anyway though, the sleeves of his coat are styled the exact same way as the OG. However though, I colored them to look like poker chips and added a gold hemline to match the rest of the suit. And I gave him diamond cufflinks. I also ditched the shoulder pads, but I did add a poker chip like design to the shoulders to make up for it, and cause as someone who's visited Vegas a lot and practically lived at the tracks, I can tell you more is more over there. Go big or go home is like the #1 motto when it comes to the costumes within Vegas's like performers. I'm always so in awe of Vegas performers' costumes. They're always like next level, over the top, crazy, but they look fantastic when you get up close. Off topic, sorry. And the pants are also designed the same way as the sleeves. So again, with the poker chip design and the golden hem. I also decided to give Husk his spats back. And like, don't get me wrong, I get why they took them away for the main design, which is basically to avoid overlapping, which is crazy compared to the other characters and their overlapping. But I figured it could make some sense with what I'm doing after he sold his soul to Alistair. Because again, I like to think that contracted souls take on parts of who they're attached to. So I like to think Alistair likes to mix the souls that he has don his colors, which is why Husk shares a lot of the same color palette as Alistair. And even now being more white, now that Alistair wears white. Before being contracted, I decided to use his pilot's colors, plus the green from the flashback, which ended up being like my 3-piece color since I used it on his hat, which I completely forgot to bring up. So while I'd love to rip the hat off of Husk in his main design, I truly think it's perfect for his Overlord fit than his running around helping Alistair look, mainly because it goes with the outfit, but also I can see Husk not being interested in wearing it without the full fit, you know? Plus, I mean, with the hat and everything else, the man's in the furry version of a Chip and Dale's outfit running around. Like, the hat just feels silly when you think about it for too long. Like, take the hat away, it makes it feel a little bit better that he's not wearing it. And for a bit of fun, since we'd only see this outfit for a few seconds, I decided to make his suit glittery. A true showstopper of a look. And kind of a weird hint to Angel Dust and the Lady Luck drag outfit. Oh, and I also gave him a whisker mustache just to make him look a little bit older. Last thing I did body-wise was the tail feather shape. There is a brief moment where we can see Husk's tail fully, and it has a diamond-like shape to it, so I weirdly like to think that he stopped grooming his fur and tail after being on Alistair's leash for so long. But before all of that, I bet it was groomed and cut to look more like a diamond to stay on themed. And anyway though, again, just to reiterate on colors, all the colors that I used are from the pilot's design. So his fur color and face color are the original pilot colors because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it works in a weird way that like Husk would be a much more cream color, like a cream and brown color instead of like white and brown. But the rest of the outfit is just the typical black, red, gold, and green, which are basically casino colors. If you play a lot of poker on your phone, you'll see that the background is usually green. The chips are black, red, and white, and the coins, like the money, is gold. So yeah, I was pretty much just sticking to like classic casino colors. I know Husk's original suit is just like gray and off gray, and it's apparently not pinstripes like I thought it was. Apparently it is like dark gray, then light gray, then dark gray again, and then light gray. And it's like, okay, so he has a striped suit, but he has a really fat striped suit, and it looks, I'm just gonna say it looks ridiculous. So yeah, I decided to just completely ditch the fat stripes and stripes in general and just go with a full black suit that is glittery. I feel like with the amount of suits that are used within the show and the amount of times we see pinstripes, I think it's time for a glitter suit. So yeah. Also, I did change the red to a much darker, more bloody red color than his original pilot red. Because funny enough, the original pilot red and the OG reds are slightly similar to each other and slightly similar to Alistair in both versions. And since I'm doing the design where he's not contracted to Alistair, I decided to do a red that's a little bit darker. Anyway though, I am like wickedly proud with how this turned out. Like, is it a lot? Yeah, but tell me, ain't it clean though? Like, foxy. And is fully giving casino like it should have given in the episode. And I know it was just a brief flashback, but like, come on now. Anyway though, this was fun, and it makes me weirdly kinda wanna make a D Overlord look for Alistair. Like, after breaking his contract with Rosie, I feel like he should have downgraded in a sense, but that might lean too far into the rewrite territory that I have going on. So maybe. Though next video will be the redesign of Lily Love Braids! Yay! Low-key, I've been meaning to talk about Poppy Playtime, but never really found a reason to Lily and kinda Poppy and the prototype. But yeah, oh, and also weird timing, but I do have a video in the works about Jax having always been a main character, and this was before any of what happened, so yeah. But anyway, look forward to that. Anyway, though, we have 2 new members to scream at today, Silver Varian and Honey Bunny Boo. Welcome to the madness. Also, thank you to 4foot10 for the super thanks on my nifty Overlord design video. Y'all should go watch that, by the way. I hear it's really good. Onto the wall of teeth you go. Also, thank you to the other members. You have my whole heart. Everyone else, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow me on my socials right here. And if possible, hit that join button or super to join the Board of Teeth. It really helps out the channel and me. I hope you all have a super fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!